Well, 3-1 on the night, 5-1 on aggregate. Manchester City then will face Arsenal in the Carabao Cup finals. Welcome in, watching that for us as well, Frank Leboeuf and Jurgen Klinsmann.
It's weird this, you know, because comfortably City into the final, and hopefully the final's better than the two semi-finals. The two semi-finals weren't really much of a contest. Yesterday was a bit of a bore. Okay, it was tight, but it wasn't a great game. This is a difficult one because I don't know what side of the fence I want to sit on here, whether City switched off in the second half or Newcastle played really well in the second half, because they did make changes, but they were chasing the game. And they could have had, I'm not, and City could have had a couple more as well, but I'm not lying here if I said Newcastle could have had 4 or 5 easy. Vissa had 2 when he came on at half time. The first one he shanked very early in the second half. There was a chance in the first half before you mentioned it. There was 2 chances in the first half that were brilliant chances to make the game 2-1. So it was a strange one. City will be happy. Newcastle clearly will not. They're the holders of this competition, or were. But Newcastle created a lot of chances because that's what City do. They give you that opportunity, but ultimately they've won the game. And I think you might say they switched off a little bit, brought some youngsters on, and Newcastle were throwing darts at a ball to try and get back in the game.
When we were watching this game, even at 2-0, Craig said, you know, Newcastle aren't out of this just yet. The third goal, I think, killed it as effectively as a contest. But that's just who Manchester City have been of late. That even with a 2-goal lead on the night, 4-goal aggregate, they will still give you chances. And that's what they did. Newcastle let themselves down and they got those chances but weren't able to convert. So often we've said it's Donnarumma who's been Manchester City's saviour. This time it was Trafford, particularly in the first half, and poor finishing as I mentioned from Newcastle. From a Newcastle perspective, and I mentioned during the highlight, I was really disappointed with how easily Manchester City were able to carve open opportunities, just kind of run through Newcastle's midfield. A couple of big omissions in Guimarães and Joe Linton. That aside, it was just way too easy for a top-level side to be carved open. We dominated in midfield as Newcastle were on the night, and that for me was the most disappointing aspect of this.
Over both legs, really. Jurgen, it's all about you take your chances, you win the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, already the fact that they play 2 legs in the Carabao Cup for me is wrong, because all the amount of games they have in England, you know, they should have clear knockout games, you know, just 1 game only. But the fact that they go there, Newcastle, and they have actually so many opportunities, as Greg said.
What do you say if you're Eddie Howe at half-time, 5-0 down on aggregate? Like, what is there to say to the players?
Go home.
Yes. Frank's heard that many a time at the theatre. That's what he hears every night on his show.
Yeah, obviously, you know, you tell them, listen, you know, even if you're down now 5 goals, I mean, you created so many chances. You could easily score 2, 3, 4, because maybe they lose a bit concentration as well, Man City. And so you tell your players, hey, come on, we got to get out here with the heads up, and we cannot just, you know, give away, you know, go so easily. So you try to kind of motivate them and sharpen them up a little bit, but obviously you know as well as a manager that this thing is done. So yeah, best thing would be, come on, let's go to the pub instead of playing the second half.
We've been discussing Manchester City and their frailties of late, Jurgen, and obviously Pep Guardiola has been there a long time and been very successful, but you just feel now there isn't quite the same spark that we've seen of